Take a position that feels good with as much support as you need. Feel free to adapt this practice entirely to your whim. What suits you? You can sit against a wall, you can lie on your back. You can let your eyelids close or just look down towards the ground. This is our time together and our time to go inwards. And we're devoting our practice today to a calming breath. Let your tongue press gently up into the roof of your mouth. Soften the corners of your lips, the corners of your eyes. Allow any tension in the face to dissolve, to soften. Notice the feeling around your ears, around the back of your head, the crown of your head, and let it feel spacious. Notice even how your teeth feel. They're such an emotional part of our bodies, our teeth. And our jaws too. How does your jaw feel? Even bring your fingertips up and just slowly take some little circles around your jawline, up around your ear. It can be surprisingly nourishing just to explore a bit of self-massage around the jaw, even coming around the mouth. Maybe even gently pressing around your nose and your eyes. And coming to your temples. And then just tapping along the forehead for a little bit. Very delicate. And tapping round the sides and down and coming down your neck. And come to the collarbones, just beneath the collarbones, and tap gently from side to side here. Embodied, such a commonly used word. It's a beautiful word. What it means is being in your body. So we're not trying to float away from our bodies, somehow rising up out of these worldly realms by abandoning the body. It's quite the opposite. We want to be in our bodies. Okay, bringing your hands down. Seeing instead that the body is the vehicle, it's the conduit for all pleasure, all experience. So the last thing we want to do is to sever from it. We want to rein into our own bodies and be utterly present. And some circles can help us do that. So dropping right ear to right shoulder. Slowly taking chin to chest. And left ear to left shoulder. And coming up and over. And then changing direction. Hearing it all, feeling it all. coming back to center, circling shoulders. Maybe bringing those elbows in. Such a great way to wake up in the morning. Maybe taking full arm extensions if you have room. It can be really tempting to move quickly, can't it? But this space, we don't need to move quickly. We have time. Taking a moment to hear it all, to feel it all. And then bringing hands down to knees and slowly starting to circle the heart. And then switching directions. It's the heart that's leading. And coming to sitting up nice and straight. Keep the hands on your knees. And just gently start to rock your pelvis forward and back. So the tailbone travels down towards the earth as you exhale. And as you inhale, the pubic bone rocks forwards and down towards the earth. Very slow. Inviting each of the chakras within the body to take part in our practice today. And coming to stillness. So if you're choosing to practice with your eyes open, just let your vision expand out sideways. So you're cooling or leaning into your periphery vision. Any little adjustments or tweaks that you need to create that sensation of space in your body, feel free to take that anytime, but now especially, as the stillness starts to drop in. So I often talk about the moving with the flow of the river and not being tempted to hold on to the reeds at the side of the riverbank. A very common metaphor for living in a place of surrender, letting go. So the reeds at the side of the riverbank, they can be grasping, holding on to things that we think work for us, things that we like, that bring us happiness. We clench and hold on tightly to them. All the reeds can be the things that we don't like and we're trying to push away, to resist. And that resistance is a different kind of holding on, a refusing to accept, to acknowledge, to look at. And both of those polarities create suffering in their own ways. And if we can come into the middle ground, this sensation of being in the place where the water flows unblocked, going with the flow, allowing each moment to pass without rejecting it or clinging to it. As we bring ourselves into that middle place of flow, you might notice that that changes how it feels to be in your body. Letting go of the reeds, allowing the current to take us. And without trying to shape your breath, just notice how your breath is this morning. How does the inhale feel? And how does the exhale feel? And how about the space between the breaths? How is that feeling? Space at the end of the inhale where the lungs are full, just resting there for a moment. We're not clinging to it, we're just curious about it, and then exhaling. And finding the space at the end of the exhale where the lungs are empty. Resting there for a moment. Then traveling to your next inhale. And gently moving towards a square breath pattern. So visualizing the square on your torso. Inhaling as light travels from right hip up to right shoulder. Holding as you travel or your awareness travels from right shoulder to left. Exhaling as light travels from left shoulder down to left hip. And holding with the lungs empty as you travel from left hip across to right. And trying to level out each of those 4 stages so they're about the same length. You might notice that some areas of that square breath feel a lot easier than others. Sometimes they all feel equally nourishing, sometimes they're all a struggle. We're not clinging to any of that, we're just curious. How is it for you this morning? And then taking the breath into Viloma to explore how we can influence our breath, or influence our feeling state with our breath. And we're curious about calm, so we're going to do Viloma for calm, rather than doing Viloma for energized. So Viloma for calm, one long inhale. You might feel that traveling up through the spine. Exhale, split into three. First part comes from the collarbones. Second part comes from the lower ribs. Third part comes from the lower belly. And I find that it's not like three separate exhales. For me, it's one long exhale with a little bit of an accent, like a stronger force as I move through the three places. So one long exhale where as I come to the collarbone, it goes stronger, calms, then comes to the lower ribs, it gets stronger, calms, and then gets to the belly, stronger, and then calms. So if it were a drawing, it would be like a wave. And the inhale is just one long, consistent inhale. I'll talk you through a couple of rounds and then leave you to practice yourself. So everyone together, begin with an exhale. Taking a long, smooth inhale all the way up the spine. Exhale begins 1 at the collarbones, 2 at the lower ribs, 3 at the belly. Long inhale. Exhale 1 from the collarbones. Exhale 2, ribs. Exhale 3, belly. Long inhale. Exhale 1, collarbones. Exhale 2, the ribs. Exhale 3, the belly. And continue your practice. And we'll finish with a balancing alternate nostril breath. So you can either do this as a visualization, or you can bring your hands up, your one hand up to your nose, using thumb and index finger to gently press against the bridge of your nose. Just beneath the hard bone, the space of cartilage. So even with the fingers pressing, you're still able to breathe in and out through the nose. The other option is to have your hand in your lap. And for this practice, we're going to inhale through the right hand nostril. We'll do that for a count of 6. Let's just do even breaths. Then squeeze and hold for 6. Exhaling out for 6, left hand side. Inhaling left hand side for 6. Squeezing and holding for 6. Exhaling right hand side for 6. So it's a count of 6 all round. If you're not taking your hands to your face, you're going to keep your hands in your lap, and you're just going to visualize the breath moving from side to side as I describe. It may not feel like that's what's actually happening, but we're kind of just inviting the movement to follow our description. Okay, check the shoulders are away from the ears, the neck is easy. Exhaling out of the left nostril. squeezing both nostrils. And we begin. Right hand nostril in for 6. Squeeze both nostrils and hold for 6. Exhale, left hand side for 6. Inhale, left hand side for 6. Hold for 6. Exhale, right for 6. Inhale, right for 6. Hold for 6. Exhale, left for 6. Inhale, left for 6. Hold for 6. Exhale, right for 6. Inhale, right for 6. Hold for 6. Exhale, left for 6. Inhale, left for 6. Hold for 6. Exhale, right for 6. Go 2 rounds at your own pace, your own count. And then let the breath practice go, return to an easy breath. And take all of your awareness down into your heart space. Allow yourself to travel into the deepest part, the softest part of your heart. As if your heart were the oracle, asking yourself the question, what do I need this week for my highest nourishment? When we ask our heart questions, sometimes there's a very clear answer, a word or a feeling, and sometimes we just have to trust that on some level of awareness we receive exactly the answer that we need, and that might not be something that we cognitively recognize. There's many layers to our awareness. So don't let that be something to grasp onto or reject either. We're staying in flow, we're staying in the middle ground, trusting the intelligence of the body to guide us. And closing with a moment of thanks for all the things that you wish to give thanks for. Offering the benefit of our practice up to all sentient beings, that it may benefit us all. Thank you for coming today. The love in me sees the love in you. We say that to each and every one of us.